Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to AWS Power Hour Machine Learning. I'm Kirsten Dupart, lead ML technical curriculum developer with AWS Training and Certification. And this is my friend John. He's a senior cloud technologist with AWS Training and Certification as well. What's up, John?
Hey, hi, Kirsten. Hey, everyone in chat.
John, where are you this week? It
Well,
doesn't look like the
I
farm, doesn't look like the maple syrup factory.
so I'm at the grocery store to buy some butter this week. So so I can use our AI services like we've seen in the previous week. So let me go into the butter alley, right? That's not good. Um, it
It
looks
looks a
pretty
little
empty.
empty. Yeah. Hmm.
I think everyone bought the butter, so that's what happens. With the previous week, we talked about butter. That
Everyone's
yeah,
using our
so
AI services. They emptied it. That's got to be it.
that has to be it.
Okay, well, you might not get your butter from the market today, John, but we do have another great episode for everybody. It is very hard to believe that this is our second to last episode of the season already. Kind of sad, but also, it's a bittersweet thing. Anyway, today we are going to introduce you guys to another really special guest named Aaron, who's going to talk with us about one of AWS's AI services called Amazon Connect, as well as reacquaint us for those who were with us in the first episode. We talked a little bit about Amazon Lex, so she's going to reacquaint us with that. And then we're going to look at leveraging these two services to create customer support chat interactions. So that's what's going on today.
I hope she will bring the butter because I'm not. It's a slippery alley. Apparently, that's what Nick was saying. So I'm glad it's empty then. So
I hope she does
uh,
too.
but speaking of guests, we do have a celebrity in the chat today. So she has a show on this very channel every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific time called the Certification Quiz Show. So if you're looking to get some AWS certification, or just want to have fun, you should definitely go and check out that show as well. MJ, you want to say hi? Are you here in the chat with us? Let's see if she is shy today or not.
Dairy Heist, I just saw. NYC
Maybe
kids,
she's
that's
shy.
great. Did the aliens take the butter? Yes.
That's awesome.
Oh my
Cool.
gosh. Well, and if MJ does get on, we'll be sure to say what's up to her. Like John said, she's got a great show, so definitely check that out if you guys are interested. And then before we get into our agenda for today, chat. Obviously, you guys you're already chatting it up. How's everybody doing? Where are we dialing in from today? The usual. We get curious about these things. Where in the world are all our AWS ML Power Hour humans?
So Kirsten, I have a couple of questions for chat today, though, right?
Okay.
So
Yep.
now that we're 6 episodes into our first season, and we have a nice consistent following, right? So
Yep.
it's really important for us to get a better sense of your technical background, so you can continue to improve our content. We want to improve our content, right? So and then we want to make sure that it's meeting all of your needs. So in a second, you'll see a couple poll questions come up on the screen. So let me just move over to that, and there it is. So if it's we got a high scoop Waterloo, Ontario, that's great. So that was one nickname of me a little while ago. So let's if it's your first time playing around with these things, just put the number in the chat, 1, 2, 3, 4, whichever questions or what is the answer to each one of them. And then today there's no right answer. Well, there's none of the above, but
Love
and
seeing
then you
all
can't
these
pick
come
more than
through.
one answer, so that's also a difficult thing, right?
Also
What
loved
do we
seeing where
have?
everybody was from, by the way. Yeah, what do we have?
Oh yeah, that's right. I completely missed that part. We got some people in Waterloo, so I was pretty happy with that.
Waterloo, Melbourne, Virginia, Michigan,
Melbourne.
Cali, Florida. Woo! Looks like we got also a bunch of ones. It's all over the board. Okay, that's
Oh
awesome.
yeah, So we have devs, a lot more devs today, but also other IT professionals. So I have no idea what that is. Anyone wants to put that in the chat? What's the other IT professional? Because I thought there was only developer and cloud architects, wasn't it?
That's it, huh?
That's all we need, right? So, something like that. Sorry, I'm sorry. None of those anyway, so.
Oh my gosh. By the way, Adelaide, Australia, Sao Paulo, Brazil, and also that's rad. I'm sitting here in Seattle, and then John's over in Toronto.
Awesome.
IT program managers who still code. Awesome. Okay, well this is great. We have, like I said,
and arcs. I like that.
we do have a real fun show for you guys today. John, would you mind? Do you want to do that whiteboard thing you do as I kind of take us through what we're gonna cover today?
Wait, don't. I thought we had another question.
Oh, do we? Did I jump the gun?
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah, I know.
I don't want to
like you're too excited about the show. That's what's happening. So...
I am. I'm very excited.
Well, this one is gonna help us today. So what's your ML experience? So 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 in the chat. I'm watching this show because I figured someone will be streaming a video game. I'm sorry.
Oh
sorry to disappoint you. Wait. Do I have? Well, let's try that. Solitaire. Can I bring that in? I think I can bring my Solitaire in.
Oh my gosh. I love this. Brand new to ML, just started. Yes. I should probably be a host of this show. No one wants to. No one wants to take
that one. Oh. I thought I was gonna find my replacement today.
Oh, this is awesome. Answers all over the place. I love the diversity. I mean, we just get in every episode. It's all over the place, and I love that.
Awesome. So brand new to ML is winning it. So that's awesome. Well, welcome to everyone who is brand new to this. I love that.
Yes, welcome everybody. And John, are we cool to do? Are we gonna do the whiteboard thing? Are we ready for the agenda? Am I jumping the gun again?
No, I'm on it. I'm on it this time. So
okay.
Let's do it.
Okay, perfect. So let's see. After our usual recap of last week's episode, what we're going to do, you guys, is start with a real quick intro again to Amazon Connect as well as Amazon Lex. We're going to talk a little bit about the machine learning that's behind both of those services. And then our guest, Aaron, who we'll be introducing in just a few minutes, is also going to quickly pop into the console. Those of you who've been with us know that this is kind of how we roll, to do the demo, to demo the services and highlight some of their key features. Then we're going to focus in on a use case demo for Connect and Lex. It's going to be an agent assistant demo. Before we wrap up the show with our usual quick recap questions and also some calls to action for anybody who's interested in that kind of thing.
So it's an agent assistant demo today. That's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to that one. Because, like, you know, everyone has to at some point go out and then leverage those well, an assistant, right? So
right.
Call center or something like that. So yep. I love the fact that this solution, it not only leveraged Connect and Lex, but the little demo that I saw was leveraging a ton of other services that we have seen. So Kendra, Comprehend, that we've talked in previous parts of the show, they're all going to be part of it. And we're also going to have another service that we haven't talked about that is still part of the AI services that's called Translate. So being able to translate a language, right? So language translation yep. service. So it's a really cool way to show you all of that solution being pulled together. So I'm really looking forward to for you guys to see this solution all together.
Yeah, same here. And John, speaking of revisiting some of the services that we've previously talked about on the show, let's do a quick recap on our episode from last week that we did with Ben Snively on Kendra. Does that sound good?
Oh yeah, that's right. So it was with Ben. I had a blast last week. We even had Haywood that's in the chat this week that also gave us a surprise appearance on the show. So okay, yes. Let me switch over to that, into our questions.
Okay, And then while he's pulling that up, chat, we're going to go through just a few quick questions about Kendra that we'll ask you guys as kind of a way of reinforcing some of the things we learned last time. And if you weren't with us last time, don't worry about it. You can still play along, try and answer the questions. And if you don't want to, totally cool. You can just catch up if you missed last week. So we're going to use our normal, the normal tool that we use to facilitate these kinds of things. And so, John, if you're ready, we can get started.
Yeah, let's do it. So
okay.
Let's go for our first recap question.
Okay. And then just type in the chat, again, the number associated with the answer that you think is correct.
Oh, there it is.
Sweet.
So what is Amazon Kendra? So while you're answering this thing, I'm going to give you a little bit of what is going to actually happen. You're going to have to compete against an AI this week. Since everyone seems to be answering number 3, so keeps being number 3, and I'm seeing the chat in there. I'm pretty sure that is the answer, right? So 100% on that. So if this is an enterprise search, right? Why not just go and ask that exact question into Kendra itself, right? It's supposed to work that way. So I got Kendra here, and then I loaded up with a bunch of FAQs, a bunch of documents. They're ready for us. And I want to go and ask it the question. So if you weren't there last week, don't worry. Kendra, enterprise search, right? Everyone was answering that, powered with ML. And then I've already created an index and then added a bunch of documents to it. So inside of S3 or simple storage service. And I'm just going to use the console to go and search for it. So what was the question again? Let me go back. So what is Amazon Kendra? Let me find that in my clipboard right there. Enter that. And then let's see if you were right. So apparently it's enterprise search service powered by ML, and then this thing here says an enterprise search that's powered by machine learning. Well, I guess I wonder where where that answer came from. That's pretty good. So you got that one right? So that's good. Let me flip over into our other question right here, and let's go for a second question. Which of the following data sources can be used by Amazon Kendra? I may or may not have given you the answer while giving you a brief intro to Kendra. Okay, we're competing against 2. So Amazon S3, Elasticsearch, Dynamo, or on-premises. So right now it's S3 or Dynamo. Which one did I just mention I've placed my documents into? Let's see that. Well, it looks like S3 is winning. So there's only one way to know that, right? I am going to have to go and ask Kendra about it.
It is missing the alien brain interface option. You are correct. TCIT guy.
So which of the following data source can be used with Kendra? Let's paste that in there in the FAQ. So what was it? So we said it seems like everyone was thinking it was S3, but let's look at the answers. So the data sources, S3, RDS for MySQL, RDS for Postgres, OneDrive for business, SharePoint, ServiceNow, and then then there's a bunch of supported documents. So yeah, number 1 was the answer in that case. So nice. Let me flip back to that. It was Amazon S3. Let's go for the next question now, and let's see how that one goes. How does Amazon Kendra handle incremental data update? It's a tough one. If you weren't there last week, this one is hard. If you were there last week, this one is also hard. So
far, 3s and 4s I'm seeing. Yep.
The question is, why would we have put the fourth option, both 2 and 3, but then not 1? Like, no one is answering 1, so that's good. Oh, MJ just joined us. There it is, late to the party.
Hey!
I gave you a shout out, MJ, and then nothing. Like, where were you? That's it. Like, nah, I'm not repeating myself.
We told people to come watch your show. Hey, girl!
Awesome. So it seems like people are thinking 62%, 61.5%, both 2 and 3. So let's go check that out in the Kendra console. And if I just cleared my cursor up for a second and paste that answer, how does Kendra handle updates? So let's see. In handling the updates here, we have a first and then we have a second. So first, it seems to be talking about connectors, and then the second seems to be talking about APIs. So one thing I really want to point out here is that I'm always looking at the frequently asked questions. So Kendra is able to kind of give me based on the FAQs, but it's also telling me in which documents it has found that, like a little bit more at the bottom, and then pointing me out where, well, what it has found in there. So that's pretty cool. So seems like we have 2 answers, connectors and APIs. And if we look at those answers, so that
Nice
was
job.
a connector, and then via the API, and then we have connectors that is right there. So that's exactly it. That's good. Okay,
Nice.
Next question. Last question, if I'm not mistaken. John, I don't really read all of the questions before they come in, right? So can John use Kendra to search for his mom's emails in French?
3. Seriously, John?
I think the unanimous answer seems to be number 3. So, okay, so do we want to see what Kendra says about that? Like, maybe... Let's go check that out. So let's see if Kendra says anything there. Let's paste that in. Can John use
like
Kendra?
Said, when you type these questions in there, what it's doing is pulling from the data sources, the documents, FAQs that you preloaded into Kendra, right?
Exactly. So it pulled them. So I just reopened up my page, but it pulled them from my data source, and it's just all documents that I have within S3. So right now, apparently, there is an FAQ that says, can John use Amazon Kendra to search his mom's emails in French? And no, John, Amazon Kendra only supports English. That's why that answer.
No Kendra for you.
No Kendra for me. So, but yeah, a little bit below, like all of these are actually stored within S3. So I can just click on these documents, and then if I had access to it, then I will be able to go and pull those documents, but I don't.
Awesome.
But yeah.
Very
awesome.
cool. Okay, great. That was a good recap.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. We even got to see a little bit more of Kendra itself, right? Mm-hmm. So, and that's exactly what we needed. So, all right. Now that we're all caught up to last week, right? So let me go back here. So now that we're really all caught up to last week, I really want to go in what we have in store for you today. As we mentioned earlier, we have a great guest to help walk us through Amazon Connect and Amazon Lex. And then let me bring her in. Erin Hall, Solutions Architect with the Productivity Apps team. Welcome to the show, Erin.
Hey guys, I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Hey, Erin, it's so nice to see you. And if you've watched our show before, then you know that we always like to start by getting to know our guests a little bit more. And the way that we do that is by asking about your own ML journey. So if you don't mind, if you could tell us, tell the chat how you got into machine learning, how'd you get here? Some of us got here by way of talks of aliens, coworkers who were pushy, that kind of thing. How'd you get here?
Yeah. Mine was, I honestly just completely stumbled upon it and did not try to make my way here. And just, yeah, I was working as an AWS developer and with Amazon Connect actually. And there were a couple colleagues who would come in every so often that were solution architects, and they just built out these incredible integrations on top of Amazon Connect. So every time that they were in town, I would be like, oh, let me see, like, what did you build? And just like loved learning and seeing how our customers are using Connect in incredible ways. And then that coworker started a new team just over a year ago, and he recruited me to join it. So that's how I got here.
Awesome. Very
That
cool.
is
Those
awesome.
essays, they're so good. They're so good. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into the tech. I do want to start with Amazon Connect because that's a service that's brand new to the show. So if you could maybe just start by talking to us about what that's all about, like a quick overview, I'm sorry, of the service.
Yeah. So Amazon Connect is our easy to use omni-channel cloud-based contact center. So what that means is you can build out a contact center and use the same infrastructure that we actually use with Amazon.com. So that's where it all started, where Amazon.com built out their own contact center 13 years ago. And then we decided to make it available to customers as a service. And so you don't have
Wow.
to, I know, it's really cool. I love it. You don't have to spin up your own infrastructure. You can scale up to, like, I mean, think about Amazon Prime Day, right? It scales up to over 70,000 agents in one day, and the next day it scales back down. And so you can leverage that without having to build it out yourself. And it's super easy where you can create a whole contact center in just a few clicks in a couple minutes and start taking calls. So, or chats, which we'll focus
Chats or
on today
calls?
more so. Yeah,
That's
Wow.
both of them.
awesome. So phone
Hmm.
and chat are the two ways to get into that. That's awesome. Auto scaling agents. Well, I think these are less auto scaling, right? They're real
Yes,
people, but then yeah, that
true.
thing in the middle is the thing auto scaling, I guess, right?
You provide the people, we'll scale the service underneath. How about that?
Yeah, there it is. So yeah, that's right, Brad. So you still have to recruit your own agents. Yes. So awesome.
That's awesome.
So that's great, right? So the user goes phone chat into Connect. That thing you can define some rules, and it picks up agents, different queues, I'm guessing, and things like that. But like that's great explanation. But now we also said that we were going to talk about Lex. So we talked about Lex briefly in our very first episode of this season. But Aaron, can you give us an overview of that service for everyone that weren't there?
Yeah, definitely. So Lex is our conversational AI for chatbots. And so this means that you can just add chat into any application or chat or voice actually, and you can talk to this conversational bot. And it's actually built on the same deep learning technology that is used for Alexa. And so its name came from Alexa, you drop the A's and you have Lex. And so yeah, anytime that you want to add it to your web page, you know that you've used this same infrastructure that Alexa has been trained on.
That's
Huh.
awesome.
That is cool. So like the users in here, so let me just draw my users, can communicate towards Lex that way. And then you said they can do it via chat and there is
Voice.
voice, right?
Yeah,
Those are
exactly.
your two ways to interact with it. That's awesome. And then
Yeah,
yeah.
So
but
you,
also,
oh,
yeah,
no, no, go
I
ahead.
was gonna say, also you can use Lex through Connect, and so you don't have to create your own application, and you can use Connect because it will power all of the routing and management as to if someone starts a chat with Connect, you can configure who's the best agent to talk to, so you can connect the right person to the right customer at the right time. And there's a really easy plug and play way to just put Lex in, and then you can get going through the Amazon Connect console.
Anytime
Huh.
someone says really easy, I think of that butter, our buttery AI services.
You bring the butter. Here I
Exactly.
am.
So
He
like
brought the butter.
the user doesn't so the user can still continue to connect or sorry can still continue to go to Connect via phone and chat, and then it's Connect that decides to send that towards Lex to like make the routing more intelligent? Is that how that works?
Yeah, so you configure the routing and you can say under what scenarios do you want to route to which types of people. So let's say you set up a Lex bot and I start talking to Lex and I say, I want to return something. And then because I chose to go down to the Lex intent that says return an item, you then configure and say, hey, we want to connect this person to an agent who handles returns. Or if I talk to Lex and say, I want to cancel a subscription, then after that point, you say, oh, if it went down that intent, we'll connect them to someone different. And so you can control all of that within this
Huh.
graphical interface.
And I think that answers exactly the question from Brad that was asking about relevant, like Lex ask relevant questions direct to the caller, so to back to the caller, so that it can be redirected towards the right agent or the right person. So
Right.
that's awesome.
And Aaron, it just I was going to ask you, can you talk to us a little bit about where the machine learning comes into play with all of this? I heard you mention that it utilizes some deep learning, just like Alexa, but can you talk to us a little bit about the ML here?
That's right,
Yeah.
right? We're in an ML show. We're talking about contact center. What are we doing here, right?
Yeah, so with Connect, we have this new feature that just launched recently, like a month or so ago, called Contact Lens, which is, y'all, it's really cool. It helps your, I love it. I'm like happy to talk about it. But the contact center supervisors, it gives them insights to help go through their conversations or the chats and voice calls that were made to pick up and see, okay, what are some common trends that are happening? Which contacts can we use to better train agents, or maybe use this to show a good example of how agents reacted to a
Huh.
conversation? And so as the call goes on, we pick out sentiments. And so you can say the overall customer or agent sentiment throughout the call. You can look at key phrases that were used. It picks out which line is most likely the reason that the customer called. It also notices how long silences are and if
Oh,
the
wow.
agent and customer interrupt each other. And so as you look at these phone calls, you just have these graphs and the audio is all kind of drawn out and highlighted to show you these different things. And you can also search by a number of these categories as well. And so if I'm a supervisor who wants to go check to see who's had a long hold,
Huh.
because that's not the best customer experience, you can search for calls that had silences of over 15 seconds. Similarly, you can search for calls that started off positive sentiment and ended negative sentiment, where you're like, ooh, let's go see what happened there, and figure out how we can keep that customer happy the next time around.
And all of that falls into that natural language understanding processing
Mhm.
piece, right? Because I mean, talking about sentiments, I mean, it's hard enough as a human.
Yeah.
Silences, like how long someone's paused for. I mean, that's incredible. Very cool.
And then we talked about Lex before, but like Chatbot, what does that have to
Mhm.
do with machine learning? Anything to say about that there?
Yeah. So Chatbot, well, with Lex, it has automatic speak recognition, which helps take your speech and converts it to text. And then it also has natural language understanding. So those are the two key pieces that help parse through your text and voice conversations with the chatbot to then decide what to do next.
Awesome. Awesome. Cool.
So that I'm reading John's notes underneath Connect, and and I'm curious about just that the contact center service again, and where the ML is going to come in there. Can it for instance detect like if John gets mad at an agent, because John just gets mad all the time.
Yeah,
That's true.
it
That's
can. And
very
then you
true.
could search for conversations where the customer sentiment was negative.
Okay, so
Yeah,
that's that part where it can pick up the sentiment of if it's even if it starts positive and it ends negative.
exactly.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
Well, Aaron, is there anything about the ML in contact lens that we should talk about? I can see again in the notes under there that there's some pretty. I mean, I could guess at where I think the ML is falling into place under contact lens. Is there anything else related to ML you want to tell us about contact lens?
Within contact lens, I think to all of the key features here. And I
Okay.
mean, we use a number of AWS services behind the scenes, but it's a lot of the models we have tailored specifically towards contact center language and what the expected conversations are. And so it's not your base ML services, but we do build out different models for the contact center space.
Very cool. Awesome.
Awesome.
Well, thank you for those. John, did I jump in there?
Yeah, no, I have a question about Lex. So how does Lex accuracy compare to OpenAI GPT-3? I have no idea what that
Good
is.
question.
Wait, can you? I'm like, I don't think I know what that technology is to be able to speak to that one.
Yeah, so I don't know what that one is. I'm sorry. So, and oh, I think Tom just sent something about that. Well, that's good.
Awesome. Thank you, Tom.
OpenAI, is that? Oh,
He's sending. So Tom sent something about the new launch. So accuracy improvements and confidence score. We'll actually look at that a little bit later. So if you stick
Yep.
around with that, we may be looking into that. Awesome.
So again, just thank you for those. I know we were bouncing some questions off you back and forth. So thank you for explaining. It almost sounds to me like contact lens is a service that you could build on your own with some of the other AWS AI services that we've talked about. And in fact, chat, knowing what you know now about contact lens and the other AI services, if you've followed along with any of the episodes, really, which AI or butter service do you think you could use if you wanted to build your own contact lens to do some sentiment analysis? So go ahead, you can throw your answers in the chat, but there is an AWS AI service specifically for sentiment analysis. Do you remember which one it is?
Deb is going with TextRack for sentiment analysis. Oh, DCIT guy is going with Comprehend. We have more Comprehend, but they're mods. So like I like go with the mods unless they're just throwing you with the different direction.
It's trick.
That's right. Yep, you got it. It is Comprehend. That's the that is the one. And Deb wants to switch her vote. It's too late. It's too late now.
Biscuit for biscuit. Yes.
And to answer the question from earlier, I'm definitely camping the store for more butter. I think that's how it works. So.
Yeah.
So great job, everyone. So, Aaron, do you want to do a quick demo in the console, right? So we always like to start with the console of these services. So if you want to go into the Amazon Connect console and show us how we could maybe set one, like a contact center up.
Yeah, I'd love to. I told you it's quick and easy, and so I'll show you guys how to do that. So here's
Awesome.
the Amazon Connect console, and we're going to get started and create a contact center right now. So first step is you just have to create a unique URL. So we'll do Twitch Aaron AIML as my contact center. You create an admin, which I'm not going to do that right now. We can skip through that. You select if you want incoming and or outbound calls, and I want both of them. And then you can configure where your data is stored. And so Amazon Connect will create an S3 bucket for you, and it'll be where all of your call recordings go to, and then your logs will be stored in CloudWatch logs. And that's it. So I create the instance. Yeah. And Amazon Connect's doing the rest for you. We're taking care of all of the infrastructure. We actually also create a few resources underneath the hood for you so that you can just, once this is done, you'll be able to log in and take a call. We'll create the contact flows and the routing profiles and the queues, which are all the resources that are used together to get the customer to the agent. So once this is done, that's what we'll do. I made it in the Singapore region because my other regions already had Amazon Connect instances in it, and I wanted to show you from scratch. So
that's fair enough.
Maybe a reason for some latency. You know, we can't travel right now. At least I can pretend I'm in Singapore.
Yeah, exactly. I love how quick it goes to go around.
It's like John might be pretending he's in a grocery store. I don't know.
Hey,
Just maybe.
Hey, I don't know.
Maybe.
Okay, so here we are. We're in our contact center, and let me make this bigger for y'all. And we
Awesome.
can get started. It's going to ask me to claim a phone number, which I'm going to skip claiming the phone number and instead chat, just because it's easier than all of the feedback that you get when trying to demo phone calls. So I'll
Yeah.
click test chat, and this is where we'll see both the agent and customer, and I can just get started. So I can activate the contact control panel, which this is the agent soft phone, as we call it. And so once it loads, there we go. This is what the agents will use to take calls or chats from their customers. And when I click this start chat button, it's using, as I said, the queues and contact flows that I set up already. And I'm going to get a message that says, thanks for contacting us. And the queue time is less than 5 minutes. So we're checking to see how long the wait is. And
Huh.
I'm placed in queue. Once my agent is available, I will get the chat.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Hello. So
And that was
that
set
was
up
it. We just,
in 2 minutes.
yeah,
Fair
Wow.
enough. Okay. I like that.
No, you have your contact center.
You were not
It's
kidding.
going
Super
quick.
buttery. So we were talking about contact lens earlier for Connect. Can you show us that right now?
Yeah, I would love to.
Okay.
So here is a contact trace record of a different Amazon Connect instance. And the contact trace record is the record of the call that was made and tells you all the details. And so I'll walk through some of that now. You can see at the top here, we have the customer sentiment trend. So it started off negative, was not happy in the beginning. And then by the end of the call, we got up to 4.3. So the agent did a great job with the conversation. You can see that there's non-talk time. There's 23% of the call. So we could work on the agent performance there to see why there was that gap.
Mm-hmm.
Scroll down, we have these categories. So this category here are rules that you actually get to configure. And it's over in this other page. Oh no, I just clicked by accident. Let's see if I can cancel that. Okay, going back. Didn't mean to click. And since rules are over here, so you can go configure them. And we have a few set up that are looking for whether our agents say things that we want them to say for compliance purposes. So we can see here that the agent missed his intro. He didn't say, thank you for being a valued customer, thank you for calling, but he nailed the conclusion. So he said, have a nice day, or whatever phrases we have there as well.
Huh.
Wow.
That's pretty cool. So
Yeah, and
now
it's
I
really
know,
neat
now the managers know when they're not treating me right on the calls. That's good for
Exactly.
me.
Yeah, it's fun. You can do it for customers too. So if you have a common customer issue, you could be like, oh, the customer's upset, and any kind of key phrase that customers could use, like this stinks, you're not helping, any of that, you can call that out as well. So
Huh.
it's nice. And then here you can see the call recording, and when the customer's voice got louder, the red means the customer was upset.
Oh,
This is
wow.
where we had a big chunk of silence here. So the customer was probably on hold during that time.
Huh.
Yeah, and then the transcript, you can see this is underlined,
Sad face.
and that is, huh?
Sad face.
Sad face. Yeah, the customer's not too happy here. This is issue detection, and so we use machine learning to figure out why the customer called, and we underline it for you. So if you're quickly scanning through the transcript, you can see what we predict to be the reason they called.
That's
And then you can
awesome.
also see how we redact out personally identifiable information, like
Huh.
the agent's name, the customer's name, address, credit card information, etc.
That's awesome. Because yeah,
That's
it goes
awesome.
into the log, so you definitely don't want that to be purging that out. It's a pretty good idea. Huh. I like that. So we saw, so that was a pretty cool demo of contact lens here. But now that we really have that understanding of contact or Connect, right? Amazon Connect. For Amazon Lex, so instead of using you, Aaron, we actually did a demo in the first episode about Lex. So we have a really quick demo that Kirsten actually did. So I want to actually have Kirsten do a demo for us today. So let me jump over into here. Okay, yep. Can see your screen now, Kirsten.
Awesome.
Go for it.
Perfect. I'm just going to show off a tiny bit of Lex here as a refresher. So right now I'm just in the AWS console. Going to hop over into the Lex console. Going to get started. And then the first thing that you're going to see is this create your bot page. Again, we could do a custom fancy bot, but I'm going to leave that for Erin because she's the boss. she's the fancy one. So I'm just going to leave it here on this book a trip create bot page. And then in the middle here, what it's doing is giving us a couple of definitions. And we talked a little bit earlier about natural language processing. And so what this is doing is defining for us how the bot is going to use that to really try and understand how the user is interacting with it. So the way that it does that is by, and you might have heard us use a couple of these as we were talking earlier, intents, utterances. And so this is where it's explaining what those parts of speech are for the bot.
So just to make sure, like I need chat to help me with this one. So is it utterances or utterances? It's a U. So like I've had some debates about this one, and I still don't believe what Google says when I make it talk, or Polly says. It's a U. Like, I just want to make sure.
I'm going to leave that to the chat.
Anyway, in some of the videos I've made, I say utterances, and I'm going to keep with that. It's a U.
You know, I think, well, they're gonna type you because that's what, but it's a. But I think you should keep saying you. Keep saying you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that first one there, the intents, those are the goals that the user wants to try and achieve, right? And then the bot's going to try and figure out what the intent of the user is. And it's going to do that based off of things that are uttered to it, that are going to invoke or utered to it, that are going to invoke the bot, right? So things that are either spoken or typed. And then slots, as you'll see in a second, is the data that the user is going to provide to fulfill that intent. Prompts are just the questions that the user gets asked, and then fulfillment is just when the business logic is required to fulfill the user's intent. Awesome. So to finish setting up our bot, we could plug in some sentiment analysis. I'm not going to do that today. It automatically assigns an IAM role for you. We're not going to do anything related to COPA today. And then if you guys were with us, was that just 5 episodes ago? So 5 weeks ago, you did not see this advanced option because it wasn't there yet. And AWS is so fast, constantly innovating, adding things, taking in feedback, and adjusting. And so this is actually a new feature. John, do you want to just explain this one real fast?
Yeah, for sure. So like the confidence score that you see there, it wasn't really being returned, right? So the goal of the bot is that you say something, right, or you type something, and it's supposed to pick the right intent. But it was picking the intent, but like the confidence score, you couldn't configure that. Now you can configure the threshold, so if it doesn't pass that threshold, it's going to be able to pick the right intent at that point. But the other thing it can do is now the confidence score also is being returned back in the API call. So you could decide to say, hey, that confidence score is not high enough. Let me just check a few things on my end programmatically, and maybe I'm going to be able to pick it or do something with it. So it's actually more data that is coming back, which it wasn't coming back before, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for that, John. I'm actually not going to enable that for right now. Again, leaving the fancy stuff for Erin. She's going to show us more cool things about this later. But I'm going to go ahead and create this. And then what it's going to do is pop up and show us what it looks like a little bit underneath the hood of Lex. And so you can see right now it's still currently building. So while it's doing that, I'll just sort of explain some of the things we can see here. So in the left-hand menu, you can see the intent. There's only 2. The intent of the user could be to book a car, or the intent of the user could be to book a hotel for this bot. Oh, green. Yahoo. We love green. Okay. So the bot is built. If it would have been red, might have just been a little bit of panic. But So we've got two intents here. We've got some sample utterances. And again, these are things that you might anticipate someone saying when they're talking to your bot. And as you'll see here in a second, it's using ML, right? So it's supposed to be super conversational. So if you are like John and you say, yo, dude, a lot, then the bot should recognize that you are saying hello, right? And then we've got some slots down here again that you can fill out. And by the way, you can have as many intents and as many utterances, as many slots as you want. So let's go over here in our test spot. Yo, dude, I need a hotel. Okay, what city will you be staying in? Well, hopefully Paris. What day do you want to check in? Let's leave tonight. We'll get there tomorrow. How about 5 nights? What type of room would you like? You can see I'm just going back and forth and answering, giving some responses to the bot. Okay, should I book the reservation? Yes. And then you can see there that it's been fulfilled, and now I have a room that's been booked. So if you've ever done anything like this, where you are, on booking a hotel or a flight or a car, and you're interacting with chat, or you're trying to chat with someone because it's faster and easier, chances are it might be something like this. But anyways, you can see here, there's a lot of different things that you can interact with and use to spiff up your chatbot if you want to do that. But again,
that's awesome.
Yeah, Aaron's going to get into it, but this is what using Lex looks like.
That's awesome, Kirsten. Thank you for that. And yeah, I definitely speak the way you said. So yo, dude, do something. Like that's how I speak to Alexa. And she's gonna wake up
Alexa.
now. Now that everyone has a better understanding of Amazon Connect and Lex, right, individually, I think it will make sense for us to kind of show you how they can work together, right? So, Aaron, I heard you have a great demo to show us, a customer agent assist application. Can you give us a quick overview of that demo, if you will, here?
Yeah, I'm happy to. So here's a customer demo that we have where we've got the customer on the left side over here and the agent desktop on the right side. So this agent desktop does a few things that I'll dive into a little bit later. But first, I want to show you guys how we can interact with Lex through Amazon Connect. So this is a chatbot, the chat widget that we have for Amazon Connect. And as you can see, we're interacting with a Lex bot. And the Lex bot's asking me, what do I need help with? Well, I want to check my ride status because this is a fake ride service that we've created. And so the intent is ride status. And now we have to fill in a few slots. And so the Lex bot looks for the trip number, which I'll say is 1234. And the trip date, we'll say it is on Tuesday. And Lex, with its natural language understanding, takes Tuesday and automatically converts it to September 1st, which I didn't know that was what the date was. And so Lex is smarter than me there. And yeah, that's it. And so now I get a confirmation. And that's how we're using Lex through Amazon Connect. And now I'm prompted again, what do I need help with? Well, I could ask for text confirmation and we could hook up with Amazon Pinpoint to send a text message to me, or I could just ask to talk to an agent. So here I'm going to say talk to an agent, and they know that I'm chatting and they could escalate to call and use the Amazon Connect outbound API there. But instead, I just want to chat, and this will then connect me to my agent. And you'll notice that when the call comes in and I answer the call, I have the entire context of the conversation out of the box. So everything that I can scroll up through, and the agent has the conversation that the customer had with the Lex bot. So now the customer doesn't have to repeat themselves. And in the middle here,
that's pretty good,
we also have it.
I actually have to do that every single time. So yes, I like that.
Yeah, it is. It's very helpful to have it just right there. And you're like, okay, I only have to say it once and I can get help. Yeah. And then I'll dive into the rest of this, I think, a little bit later.
Yeah. Awesome. Sorry, I was just going to say this looks really cool, but it just is kind of got me thinking, and I think it might even be a little bit more fun if we used one of the chat members as a customer, and you can act as the agent. Does it? Can we do something like that? Chat. Does that
Yeah.
sound like fun? Does anyone want to be part of our demo? If you do, say alien, aliens rule in the chat, and then one of our moderators is going to randomly select somebody and contact you directly to get you all set up. Cool.
Awesome. That seems like we have some people. Not that many people are interested apparently into being part of our test
Maybe they just
demo
don't think
right there.
aliens rule. Which would be
Maybe
really sad.
that's the problem. Maybe we need. Well, that's going to be a little bit easier for our I guess for our moderators to find the one of the person. So you will dox me. We promise not to. Not to worry. So okay.
Promise.
So while the moderators are picking someone, right? There's not that many people anyway, so that's all good. How about we look at the architecture diagram of this solution first, Erin, if that's possible.
Yeah, I would love to. So here's a quick diagram that I drew up. We've only covered the part up to connecting to an agent. So you can see that the customer talks to Amazon Connect, and that then connects you down through Lex, and then we get connected to the agent. And what I'm going to show you next is how we can use Comprehend, Translate, and Kendra all on the agent side and use the Amazon Connect Streams API, which that's the API that we have that powers the soft phone. And so as I have the soft phone embedded, which is what Amazon Connect built, you can do that, or you can just create your own and completely reskin it, give it your own look and feel. And so as a message comes in, we call Comprehend to detect what is the dominant language here. And then if the agent has a different language selected than what Comprehend detected as the dominant one, we translate it in real time. And then after that, we take it and we go to Comprehend to get the sentiment and the key phrases. And then we finally query Kendra. And so if a customer asks a question, we can use Kendra to quickly give the agent articles, to quickly answer their question.
Very cool.
I really love that you're using all of those other services like to power up your application right there, right? And yes, it is all the butter services right there. The only thing that we haven't talked about was that translate service. It's a language translation, so that's it. There's not much to it there. But well, there is a lot to it. It's very complex, but it's just translation, right?
Yeah. Erin, what I love about this too is that architecture has really helped me visualize what's actually happening with the services in real time, how they connect and how they interact. So I love this is beautiful to me. And now I think I'm ready to finish out the rest of your demo, which is great because perfect timing. I just heard from our moderators that they've queued up a lucky chat participant to help us out. So Erin, you want to take that over?
Yeah. So whoever's on chat, you can tell Lex to talk to an agent just as I did over here, and then say you want to chat when Lex asks the follow-up question, and you should come straight to me. Fingers crossed it works.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. I've got Debster 1.
Debster 1.
Oh, that's so cool.
I love it. Hey, Debster. And you see, I can see what she said. She listened to my instructions very well. Talk to an agent, chat. And here we are. So
cool.
Say something. Let's see how you're doing. Hello. Hi, Debster 1. Why don't you, I'm going to challenge you here, Debster. Can you speak in a different language? Ooh, look at that. She said, this is fun. And what happened here? We got this emoji that popped up and said, like, this is great. Let's Comprehend working for you there. And then look, when she said hola, it came through as hello. And this is where translation comes in because I have English selected.
Oh, wow.
Which is great.
That's awesome.
That is so cool.
And then if she says something like, ask me if you can bring a pet on your ride, Debster. Let's see what happens there. I'm going to see if we can get Kendra hit here because this is a ride service. So once again, can I bring dogs on my ride? Look here, we have 2 suggested articles for her. Can I ride with my dog? Can I bring a pet on my ride with me? And she said, please. Oh, that was very nice. Thank you. And so since I select this, and when I send the chat back, since the last language that she sent it to me in was Spanish, it gets translated back into Spanish immediately. So I have
Oh,
my
wow.
transcript over here in
Wow.
English, and then she has it in Spanish. So we're both speaking our own languages and just communicating seamlessly.
So, we have well, let me clear that out and go with the smaller. So connect here on the left, then we
Mhm.
have translate here in the middle, Kendra, and then comprehend is that little thing that is right there for sentiment analysis. That is awesome.
Wow.
Huh. So with the remaining time, do you mind just showing us how that was set up inside of the console? Like
Sure.
briefly how that looked like.
Yeah. Let me go over to that tab if it lets me change. Uh-oh, come on, Chrome.
You can do it, Chrome.
It's failing on me. It's not letting me switch tabs. Let me just close this window. How about there we go. Okay. So this is the contact flow designer where you build out the experience the customer has when they are going through queue. And so this is where you add your Lexbot. You do get customer input, which, yeah, there we go, has the text that you enter. You say, thanks for contacting the ride assistance service. And then you choose your Lexbot, which is just this drop down right here. And I choose my ride service Lexbot and the alias that I want. And so now that's it, you're connected to Lex. But there's a few more things that you can do too. So here we pass in a couple attributes and we say, I want to tell them what channel I'm on. And so this is how you can make your Lexbot behave differently based on voice or chat. So
So
if it's
channel
Mhm,
is the type of communication you're using, right?
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, I mean, like, for example, on the chat that we just saw, I said talk to an agent, and there was a follow up prompt to get, do you want to call or chat? But if I called in on voice, I wouldn't get that follow up prompt. And I was able to configure that in the Lambda function that backs my Lexbot by passing in this attribute.
That's
And then
awesome.
That's
finally,
so cool.
these are the three intents that we have. And so if you do
Mm.
ride status, talk to an agent, or book a ride, you can see what happens. So after ride status, we set a few attributes and then we send them back to the Lexbot and it just loops back through. Whereas if I say talk to an agent or I want to book a ride, we just transfer you to queue, which you guys saw there. And so that's how the customer kind of goes through, interacts with Lex, and then like for example, it'd probably be better to set a different queue if it's talk to an agent or book a ride. You can just pull in another block over here to set your queue and say, I want to set to a general queue for talk to an agent, but a specific queue for book a ride. And that's how you get it through.
That's so cool. Quick like
That's really
turtle.
cool.
Awesome name. Says I have a few clients that could totally benefit from this. I think this is super
Love it.
applicable. Yeah.
And then and Gatsby, I really wish I could see Jeff as well on my Twitch show. That will
We can
be
get him on
amazing.
here. We will
Yeah,
let you guys know.
I will like that too. But I think he's busy with more important things than,
Might be a little busy.
well, not more important things. This is important. So he's
True.
busy with other stuff. So that is, and then do you want to show us the Lex console, how that looks
Yeah.
like those what that was
Right.
like?
So here is my
Fine.
Lex console, and ride status is the main intent, intent that we worked with. And so if you
A lot
say any
fancier
of
than the
these,
one I was showing.
Yeah.
you say any of these, you can say status of my ride, when will my ride arrive? Any of these things will trigger it. And then it looks for the trip ID and the trip date. And once it has those two, the intent is fulfilled. But this is where we
Nice.
have the Lambda function that actually backs the Lexbot to do more complex um, functionality.
Is that for like bringing things like the the chat of that entire bot that we saw a little bit earlier, right? So the entire interaction that was going on, is that what you use to bring it into the next chat kind of thing?
No, it's more so like with this intent, if we need more information, like what we're going to return. And so that this is where the logic is to ask the follow-up question if you want to talk to an agent via voice or chat, only if they're chatting. Also, for example, whenever we return a message back from Lex, we actually, for voice contacts only, we use markup language. which Poly is the text to speech ML service, can read that markup language, and you can specify if a phone number, for example, is read out. You don't want it to read out 7,300,000 and whatever. You want it to say 731 and the rest of the phone number. And so that's how we use this Lambda function to actually return SSML for voice contacts as opposed to just plain text for chat contacts.
Cool. That is awesome. Well, thank you for showing us that demo. I really like when so many services kind of get all merged together and then there's a solution that comes out of it. So I love seeing those. So in the little time that we have left, let's do a quick quiz. So let me switch over into my quiz section. Quick quiz of what we talked about today. So let's go for our first question. And Aaron, Kirsten, do you want to help me facilitate that one?
Sure.
Yeah.
So I think I'm
Are
on the
we
right
seeing
one.
the first question,
Yep.
the pizza one?
Yes.
Okay. So you want to create a Lex bot that can help you order pizza. Why is it important to add slots as part of your intent configuration? 1, 2, or 3? 100% 1 so far.
So you can customize your orders with different pizza size and toppings. So you can account for the different ways one might convey their intent to order pizza. So a Lambda function can be automatically set up for you to fulfill the intent. Huh.
Ooh, these are good. I like that we've got a bunch of different answers. Yeah.
Pizza is huge business. Bet in New York it is. Well, it is also in Toronto, I guess.
Pizza as a service, yes.
Pizza as a service. Okay, well, it seems number 1 seems to be winning. And the answer is, it's actually number 1. So yes, so you can customize your order with different pizza sizes and toppings. So that you pick the intent, right? And then once the intent is picked, then you can ask a few questions that will be fulfilled as to be able to give back slots, right? So you pick the slot that was from within it. So not really, the second one doesn't really work, and then the Lambda function can be automatically set up for you. No, there's no automatic Lambda function being set up for you. Unfortunately, that's not that one. Although I don't know what it uses in the backend, so maybe there's Lambda, I don't know. So maybe I'm just wrong there, and it does set up some Lambdas in those accounts, but that's not what it does in your account. Okay, next question. Let's see what that looks like. In the Customer Agent Assist demo that Erin walked us through, what service did she use to immediately illustrate the agent, the sentiment of a customer's chat? That may or may not have been the answer that we asked that question more than once today.
100% comprehend so far.
I wonder if that is the answer.
You know, it's true. If you keep asking the same question again and again, people will remember it. So if nothing else, people will know this.
So,
Reinforcement learning, something. People have been listening. It was good.
Consistency. There, not like that. So yes, that was the answer. Comprehend. So let's go to our next question. And let's see.
So the next question is, how is the agent desktop in Amazon Connect different from Contact Lens?
So Contact Lens is real-time analysis, and the agent desktop is post-call analysis. Contact Lens helps with post-call analysis, and the agent desktop is real-time analysis. Contact Lens is a newer service that builds on the agent desktop by providing key natural language capabilities, or Contact Lens is being deprecated for the new agent desktop. We have 100% on number 2 right now. I hope that is the answer. Okay, good. At least we have some people on 3.
We've got a smart group today.
Yeah,
I
I
know.
was just thinking that.
Okay, well, let's see what that gives us. So contact lens number 2. So that is the actual answer. So everyone is well, 80% of people had it right. So contact lens helps with post-call analysis, and the agent desktop is real-time analysis. That's the difference there, right? So contact lens is for the managers after the call, being able to review that data after the fact, right, Aaron? I'm
Yes,
not
that's
missing
right.
that one up. Okay, good. Okay, let's go for the next question.
Okay,
In
so
which...
oh,
Oh, go for it.
nope, you do it. Take it away.
In which situation will an Amazon Lex fallback intent help? Ooh, that's a hard one. Because did we even talk about fallback today?
I don't think we did.
I don't think
It's a
we
great
did. So that's
feature.
an unfair question. I'm going to say all of them is the answer. But let's see.
What is a fallback intent?
Do you want to take that one, Aaron?
I would, but that kind of gives the
Give
answer.
the answer away?
Yeah.
Maybe,
And so
okay,
I
maybe you
think
can help us explain
Okay,
it. And then
let's wait. Let's wait to
Yeah,
see what
we'll
the
wait.
answer is. It says fallback in it, so
Yeah.
it's definitely number 1.
Okay.
Awesome.
it's
Yeah, it is number 3, right?
hmm
So
Which is great because you can capture what the customer says. So, like in the Amazon Connect scenario, you can capture all of the questions that don't get matched, and then whoever's building your bot can then build out more intents or enhance their current intents if certain phrases aren't gathered or picked up on. So, it's a great feature.
that's awesome. Okay,
And you
let's
can use
see.
it to connect to Kendra. That's another one.
That's right. Yeah, that's how
hmm
you were doing it. So that's awesome. So last question. Let's see what we have. My cousin John always talking about butter. There's no butter today. It's empty.
Yeah, it's hard to beat number 2 right here.
I know, right? This is
It's very hard. Yeah.
strong advocate for high calorie diets. Fair enough.
I like that we're getting this mix of these answers. That's great. It's like almost evenly split.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, the answer is number 3. Like that's the real answer, even though I wish I could pick the other 2. But yes, it was Jillian, Jillian Armstrong, our very first guest that talked about that analogy of butter being the AI services, because it's as easy as you going in the store and buying some. So
As opposed to buying a farm and making it yourself.
exactly.
Which you can
No
also
longer
do,
on the farm.
but
No longer on the farm. So
Nope.
yep.
we have elevated. So you guys, that is a wrap for us. We are over. So thanks for hanging out with us just a few minutes past our time. As usual, our moderators are throwing things into the chat right now, a couple of tutorials that you can follow along with to get some hands-on experience with Connect and Lex if you want to. Make sure you take some time between now and next week to walk through at least one of those if you want that hands-on learning. We'll do a quick recap of this episode at the start of next week. If you're interested in that. And then in case you missed it, the moderators are also posting a link to a page where you can see all of the previous hands-on stuff and recordings from our previous episodes as well, just in case you missed everything or anything previously, anything or everything, really.
and you can even watch what the chat was saying during that time. That's
Yes.
a nice feature of Twitch that I enjoy. So speaking of next week, though, Kirsten, we got another great episode coming everyone's way. It's our season finale, where we'll dive into Amazon Personalize, a machine learning service that powers real-time personalized product and content recommendations. So as well as targeted marketing promotions as well. So it's really enabling you to do better customer engagement. So think movie recommendations like you will probably all be doing tonight after this show, right? So on those streaming services. So and with that, Erin, thanks for coming to the show today. That was awesome.
Yes.
And
Thanks for
chat,
having me.
loved interacting with you as usual. So, and then we will see all of you next Thursday. See you later.
Yay! Awesome. Thank you, Erin.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, chat. You guys all
Thanks,
rock.
guys.
Bye.